extra weightage given to it by our education department, and it especially helps us because we are linked with quite a number of schools. We are linked with almost 150 to 200 schools at this point. If you can see over here, and we're across, we have quite a few touch points as well. Okay, at least 200 schools over here and about 65,000 students. So this NEP, the new policy, definitely affects us also in a way. Now, as a musician, I would not really care much about an education policy because I'd be like, okay, why does it affect me? I just want to learn an instrument. But for us as an institute and for us who are trying to really spread the joy of music, it's making a big difference because we are that, our reach is that much, outside. So that's why when this policy was actually introduced and we went through a few points of it and discussed everything, and plus coming over here and listening to a lot of the leaders speak over here, thanks to Rajul's platform, we started understanding that a lot of people over there, a lot of education leaders also over there are are so thrilled about, and that a lot of you also have been waiting to give that equal weightage to the arts when a student comes into class. And it's not only your mainstream subjects, but you also have students in school who completely reject the idea of a mainstream subject and go in for an art. So we were very encouraged and we were very thrilled about that all our educators who have been coming to this forum have been sharing the same thought, and they are equally thrilled and they are very thrilled about this new policy. So coming back to my earlier question as to why we wanted to ensure that why we were thrilled and why did we change the process from selecting students to understanding that no, we do not want to select few students only and focus our musical journeys on them. We also want to, by and large, just spread it across everybody. Because at the end of the day, we are not looking at only creating Mozarts. The whole purpose of this program is not to create Mozarts and Beethovens and Michael Jacksons. No. The idea is that there should be a little bit of music appreciation as well. The need for music in schools is actually that. It's just that. It's not to create ARMRs. It is just to spread and ensure students appreciate music so that, when they start understanding this, and let's say if they're in conversation with another person, they can discuss something musical. They can hold a conversation about music later on with somebody. It's all about that. Just like how I would probably you or me would probably sit and enjoy a cricket game or a football game, and we would discuss, okay, this is what's happening, and we would understand the game. So the whole idea is to just understand what is happening in that music and what's happening in that song. So a lot of students would come, a lot of parents would come to us, and they would ask us to train their child, saying that, okay, I want my child to learn vocals, let's say, because he or she has a really good vocal line. They sing because he or she sings very well. So I'm sure that he is also looking at enjoying it. He probably wants to make a career out of it, and that's true in a way. That is true. Yes, sometimes students are forced into learning instruments because the parents think that, okay, this is the expectations are a lot more, but sometimes it's just not that. It is literally just the student enjoying the music and just being there and appreciating it, loving it. And just touching on a particular point that ma'am said earlier, a teacher by choice and not by chance. And I am exactly opposite that. So how I got into the education field and how I became a teacher was completely opposite of what it was literally thrown upon me, the responsibility of teaching. Because see, as a musician, any student, or even an artist, any student, when they're learning an instrument, they're always influenced by glitter and glamour. They see all these famous celebrities on stage belting away. They see the audience over there and they're like, wow, I want to be that guy. I want to be that person. That's superb. nobody wants to be a teacher because there's no glamour about it. It's never it's never publicized anywhere. It never comes on Delhi Times first page. Wow, this teacher was awesome in his or her school. It never comes. So that glamour is never ever there, or at least it's not in front of a student to absorb, to become a role model. So earlier, so when I was influenced, when I was in music, etc., I was really influenced by the glitter and the glamour of the stage, and I decided I want to go into a performance. I really wanted to go into performance, and then I tried a few projects in my life, and a little bit of success came in. I eventually composed a couple of songs for Parleji and a couple of similar brands. But then, along with the glitter and the glamour, there was always that little bit of the lifestyle. Just I could not appreciate the lifestyle of an artist. I just could not appreciate the lifestyle of an artist, and that is where the process of teaching was just thrust upon me, because that's when I realized okay, probably this is not something that I want to do. I don't want to perform on stage. Maybe I want to teach.
Uh, Luke, you're not audible. There is a technical glitch.
Yeah, there's an internet issue, I suppose.
Right. So I would request if you can put off your, switch off your camera. Yes, Luke, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, my Wi-Fi went off. Okay, so as I was saying, it did not come naturally to me. It was an acquired taste. But since then, I have not turned back. And when I started teaching music, the first year when I got the award for the best teacher in that institution, I was literally shocked out of my shoes, and I was wondering, "Ki ye kaise ho gaya?" And but when I actually was nominated and I got the award for the next consecutive 2 years, uh, this is the best teacher for the next 2 years as well in that institute. I kind of realized, okay, this is something that I could do, and I think I am good at it. So right from being influenced by, let's say, a Michael Jackson on stage, to literally coming and toning down myself to understanding the nuances of teaching and transferring knowledge was a very big process for me as well. And but I can, very trust me, the satisfaction when it comes to me, when it comes to the transfer of knowledge from one person to another person, that's a very uplifting feeling for me as a teacher. And that is not what I felt when I was on stage, or when I was composing those music tunes when I was in Bombay during that phase. I never felt that kind of satisfaction as I do feel now when I'm transferring a musical song to the other person. And a 10-year-old, when he's able to understand the language of music when I'm trying to transfer it to them, it is the best thing that I can definitely feel. So the process of transferring music over to the other person, it's a very positive feeling. It's a very uplifted feeling. And I think that every student should understand and undergo this process by a capable and merititious teacher who understands what their role is in life. And here is where I really appreciate the NEP, because this commands more and more people coming in with a more merititious background on music. So this is basically, in short, what I have about myself and about my journey. And from our we are really supportive of this NEP, and we are really confident, because all of you respected leaders are very positive about this, and we are confident of this. Thank you, Rajuji. Rajuji,
So thank you, Luke. With this, we come to the end of this very, very special session of Leadership Talks. You know, because it's already a 5:25, so we, I don't think we have a time for questions, though we have received many questions. So we'll directly go to that the concluding part. So I just would like to have the opinion from my the panel participants. If we can have the question part, that will take 10-15 more minutes. So Anubhuti ma'am.
I am overwhelmed with Luke. You know the way he said that NEP. Um,
Right. So I'll come to that, ma'am. I'll come to the just was trying to get the overall the feeling of whether we can have that question part. So let's skip that part now. Now let's go to the concluding part. I must thank all the participants. Bindra ma'am, Anubhuti ma'am, Kusum ma'am, Jaswinder sir, Satya ji, Sunita ji, Luke, and Nitin Nagpal ji for joining and making this session truly special. I would request all our speakers if we can have your concluding remarks. Also, we have established a very interesting practice. While sharing your concluding remark, I would request if you can also share one innovative idea, one thought that you would like to implement at any cost if you become the Minister of Education of our country. What would be that idea, that powerful thought जो आप कहेंगे कि ये तो कर रही है, you have decades of experience, आपने बहुत सारी चीजें देखी हैं, तो वो क्या एक चीज है जो सबसे पहले आप रखेंगे कि ये तो हम करके ही जाएंगे. So I'll come to the people. I'll select people randomly ताकि आप लोग अपने answers fix ना करें. So I would request Nitin Nagpal ji, if we may begin with you, your concluding remark and what would be your idea if you become minister.
मतलब रजल वैसे तो पूरा एंड में, अभी तो यहाँ फंसा दिया है.
नहीं कुछ आपका please
Okay.
your
So,
remarks.
as far as concluding remarks are concerned, learn, unlearn, and relearn are the three basic pillars of education. We learned a certain ways to teach our students, to assess them in the last 3 decades. NEP 2020 makes sure that we unlearn most of them and relearn the new ways of teaching them and assessing them. As far as education minister is concerned, this is a very tough question. I would like to do something कि अगले 5 साल भी मैं ही रहूं, but still एक ही दिन है तो सुबह 7 से 11 बच्चों के लिए क्लास और 11 से 1 टीचर्स के लिए क्लास, और ऐसी क्लास कि जिसके लिए टीचर वेट करे पूरा दिन की ये क्लास होनी है. सो दैट जो प्रॉब्लम है ना हमारी टीचर्स बॉय बाय चॉइस, ट्रेनिंग द ट्रेनर कैसे इंप्लीमेंट होगा, ऑल ऑफ दिस कैन बी एड्रेस्ड. सो यस, 11 से 1 टीचर्स के लिए ऐसा करिकुलम डिजाइन किया जाए जिसको वो बहुत ही इंथुजियास्टिकली वेट करे पूरा दिन.
Absolutely. In fact, after talking to so many school leaders, मैंने realize किया कि every school principal aims for that kind of class, कि वो क्लास करेंगे जिसके लिए बच्चे वेट करेंगे, पर वो क्लास होगी क्या वही नहीं पता चला आज तक. Right? So Nitin ji, that is going to be a big discovery. अगर वो क्लास में पता लग जाए कि क्या हमें उसमें करना चाहिए जिसके लिए स्टूडेंट वेट करें. So with this, thank you Nitin for joining. Now I would request Luke, if I may request you for your concluding remark, or and what would be your idea as Minister of Education?
Sir, as Minister of Education, I would definitely, I think the first thing would be to ensure that our teachers, in terms of at least, the salaries that they are getting, the education sector, the financial support that they are getting, I will definitely put a booster shot into that by the end of the day. So that would be definitely my first thing that I would want. Give it a more financial boost. I think that's all
So
I would
you'll create a platform कि आपको अगले 5 साल के लिए भी votes मिल जाएं, right? So thank you Luke for that. And the more monetary encouragement for teachers, this would be Luke's idea. The more trainings for teachers, that was Nitin Nagpal's idea. So now I would request Jaswinder sir, if I may request your concluding remark and what would be your idea?
Okay, thanks, Rajul. Concluding remark is let's put all our energy behind NEP 2020, NCF 2021, and look positively forward to what is going to come in. Be ready for a lot of drastic changes. Like it was said that I think Binda ma'am talked about disruption, but disruption always wins. You see, in the last so many years, we have seen a lot of disruptive ideas take over the world. You can see, look at WhatsApp, you can look at video calling, you can look at this, that. A lot of things have changed. Okay, so that's what I think is uh, let NEP 2020 be a disruptor, because we need a disruptor at this of the time of the era or whatever you say. That's one. Coming on to what I would want to do if chosen to be a minister for education, always I've talked about we need to give due recognition to our teachers. Monetary, yes, but before that, that respect is to be there. That respect, they should be called as the first citizens of the country. If we do that, more and more better qualified people will join this like profession. Like Madam Bindra said, she wanted to become a teacher. She became, right? Though money was not the point, but she got due recognition. If all of us feel that way, if all of us are made to feel that way, okay, we go back to the Gurukula age where the gurus were definitely actually promoted. You used to touch their feet. So that's one important thing. But I would also want to take this opportunity to, I would like to request you all to see that this one thing that I'm trying to show is made possible. Okay. I am not showing, okay. Can you see the screen now? Okay.
Yes, we
So what
can
I
see.
say is, okay. So what I'm trying to say is what we want is actually we want this for all the educators. Getting my point? What I mean by saying is that if doctors can have a DR written, if engineers can have a ER written, if CS can have a CA written, why can't we educators have an ED written? I'm shortly going to start a movement towards this where we would want educators, teachers, principals, even preschool teachers to have ED written as a prefix to their name. Let the world recognize who we are and our contribution towards the civilization or the mankind and the future world. So I would request if all of you could also promote this, have your teachers write this, start by writing this, and then go on to that. Somewhere an educator is a guru, and a guru needs to be recognized. That's how I would want to end my talk today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaswinder sir. So more recognition for teachers, more recognition for their wonderful work they are doing. Absolutely, we all agree with you, Jaswinder sir. Now I would request Kusum Kumar ma'am, concluding remark, and what would be your idea? Your thought as Minister of Education, Kusum ma'am.
So lots and lots of things, of course. It's like a Pandora's box open, and thank you, Jaswinder sir, for recognizing teachers, and definitely we are going to write ed, and to and prefix it that way. So because I'm here as an ECCE or preschool, that domain I am representing. So I would, as a minister, I would also just stick to that concept, where I would say that the overall aim of ECCE will be to obtain optimal outcomes in the domains of all the physical, motor, the cognitive, the social, emotional. And because the foundation years are the first step in school education, that that actually helps a child, as we have seen, how we have gone through this whole NEP process. So every school, according to me, needs to model the 4 learning zones to learners, right? And that's the most important thing, and that's the most important aspect of learning. The physical zone, where activities affecting learning and movement, that which stimulates connections with the brain, and that needs to happen. The social development zone, essential for self-awareness. We're talking so much of life skills, we're talking so much about the 21st century skills, but we are not able to create those kind of spaces for our children, right? So those zones for self-awareness, development of self-esteem, and how important is that? And we forget that it starts at the home,